So I did a little bit of tweaking on the new idol image. This is just a way to me to make sure that one thing you don't see is my decapitated head. It just feels a little unreal. I need some form of body or something. And thankfully, this little bit of editing and some of the fan arts that people gave to me, and after one public domain background and combining it with a picture of my Samsung microphone, I managed to produce me this sort of studio setup that is actually aligning a little bit of how it actually is in real life. Well, not with the background, but still, it does just basically looks like this, basically how I talk to in my videos. And I feel a little bit more comfortable talking. If you think that's not great, maybe you can contribute to this by making my own studio or something, and not an actual studio, just a little bit of background. So what do you guys think of the new setup? It's 2017 after all, I have to try on new things. Anyway, today, I'm going to talk about the core problem that we have in the society. It's the culture of people who are being perpetually offended by so many things, even to the tiniest of things. Now, I'm going to show you a Twitter conversation with someone that I find very interesting, and it's just a good highlight to the problem that we have right now. Let's take a look, shall we?
Just read your article on the Mary Sue. How do you ensure you know enough about LGBTQ BOC to make sure that you don't offend?
Jesus Christ, I hope that star doesn't contain P for pedophilia.
Thanks. I do my best to not be a jerk, ask questions, and listen hard.
Well, good for you, Laura. Good for you. I don't care if what you're writing in the Mary Sue is stupid, because they usually are. If you're not a jerk about it, I won't be a jerk back. Even if you're a jerk, I will try my hardest to be civil. Try. You have my word.
Ask questions personally on the web? I'd like to write with more diverse, but the fear is immobilizing me. What if I make a mistake? I fear mistakes too. Learning and trying new things are full of that for me.
Now, this conversation is definitely very pleasant and enjoyable to read through, but it just goes to show you the problems that we have in this society. It's people who are afraid of speaking out on the fear that it might offend someone. Well, the past 2 years have been nothing but a very disgusting time of the years, where this culture of fear and political correctness are emerging. And now that we're entering 2017, I think people are starting to wake up on this politically correct nonsense and start to actually telling the truth, regardless of whether or not it will offend people. There's no more event that highlights this issue more than the Chicago kidnapping. Now, I promised in my Minds article that I'm not going to talk about the kidnapping that happened in Chicago in a video form. If you don't know what happened, 4 black people are committing a hate crime towards a special needs white teenager, torturing him, beating him up. The videos are being removed en masse, but to sum it up, it's like that Joker scene from The Dark Knight, except it's being live streamed and it's real life. But thankfully, these people aren't as cunning as the Joker as they get caught because they're absolute freaking morons. It's absolutely horrifying what happened, but unfortunately, I have to break that promise because there's a relation with this and the topic for today. A lot of people have talked about this event and what's happening. I just want to talk about some of the people's reaction to this. There are people who are trying so hard to justify the violence that these people are doing to this poor white guy. This guy over here is called Black Hitler for a good reason. Just read. Just freaking read. What are you even talking about? Then you have the Washington Post saying garbage like,
pro-Trump narrative converge in one awful attack streamed on Facebook.
Yeah, thanks Sherlock for the detective work. That entire video is all anti-Trump. There are gonna be people who will defend Trump even if they don't like him. So if you consider people defending Trump as pro-Trump narratives, then maybe you should go back on talking about how your dog's Halloween costume is sexist. Then you have the trans black Sean King who posted that he won't be fighting against the person who is being victimized in this thing. Why? Because it goes against the Black Lives Matter movement. Listen, Sean King, do you know why people are associating this with the Black Lives Matter movement? Because you said that Black Lives Matter are supposed to represent all black people. People who support Black Lives Matter always say this constantly. You're practically shooting yourself in the foot. So if Black Lives Matter is the same thing as black people, then those black people in the video, they're all Black Lives Matter as well, by your logic. Now, I agree there's no evidence to suggest that the perpetrators are Black Lives Matter supporters. At this very moment, I don't really know. But again, you're shooting yourself in the freaking foot. You can either keep on saying that Black Lives Matter is not the same thing as black people, which makes you an inconsistent liar, or you say that Black Lives Matter is the same thing as black people, which makes the assaulters Black Lives Matter as well. And for some bizarre reason, he's also complaining that he got 40 death threats over the things that he said. Do you know why you get over 40 freaking death threats, Sean? Because not only you say that you're not gonna fight for the justice of this man, but your reason of doing it is so monstrously selfish. How can you not see that? Then you have CNN, who are on the record saying that the kid cannot be racist because of institutional power, which begs the question on why this guy is on freaking CNN. CNN also managed to become the monstrous hypocrites because they are. There's also that footage of that CNN reporter basically saying that it's not evil. Just, here's the clip.
To man, and
I don't think it's evil. I don't think it's evil.
Fuck you. Yeah, that's my message to you. Fuck you and kiss my ass.
I don't think it's evil. I don't think it's evil.
You're an emotional fucking cripple. Your soul is dog shit. Every single fucking thing about you is ugly.
I think these are young people, and I think they have bad home training.
Wow. You are an amazing human being. There are absolute freaking morons that say that blacks are enslaved and therefore it's totally okay to do this. In my Minds article, I discussed about how this is nothing but justifying violence. And it is. It's a justification of violence. Pure and simple. You can't be racist towards this specific group of race. Therefore, it's okay to do horrific things to this specific group of race because you can't be racist towards them. You can't be racist towards the people who have enslaved you for like thousands of years. Therefore, it is totally okay to commit the most horrific crime towards them. But thankfully, among this horrific stupidity, there's a massive bright light. People are calling this thing out for what it is. It is a hate crime. They're being charged for hate crime. More and more people already knows that this is a hate crime. And it just goes to show you that despite the best efforts, the mainstream media has lost. Not only that they lost, they're gonna crash and burn in the most spectacular of manner. I've seen even people who you do not expect, people with huge influences, talking about this truthfully and honestly. First, we have Philip DeFranco. Mad props to him for actually reporting on the news, regardless of the fact that people constantly call him a white supremacist.
In this case, you had 4 black people who kidnapped and tortured a young white man. They beat on him, cut him, threatened him with a knife, duct taped him, forced him to drink toilet water. Just horrifying, horrible shit that this guy had to go with. And they were shouting, "Fuck Trump, fuck white people." Are you telling me that if you didn't switch, if you switched the races, right? You had 4 white people kidnap young black guy, and they're saying, "Fuck Obama, fuck black people," and they're beating him. Is that racist?
Then we have Skye Williams, who has been on freaking fire for this past couple of months, and it's amazing.
A white person being tortured while these niggas say, "Oh, fuck Donald Trump, fuck white people." But if you can believe it, that's not even the worst part. No indication it was motivated by politics or race. You lost your goddamn fucking mind. We'll keep investigating, and we'll let the facts guide us. No, nigga, let me guide you. Political.
Fuck Donald Trump, nigga.
Race.
Fuck white people.
What the fuck are you afraid of? And what you gonna do, call me a sellout to white people? You gonna call me a coon? A white nigga sneezes on you and you put up a fucking blog on Facebook, but this happens and you look the other way? Y'all don't want to say that Black Lives Matter doesn't mean all lives don't matter. And it doesn't mean white lives don't matter. Yeah, well you could have fucking fooled me. Fucking disgusting.
Rob Dyke also speaks out about this. Lots and lots of people with huge fan bases, with huge influences are speaking out, calling out nonsense. And yes, due to the nature of their large fan base, it's gonna cause serious offense towards the people inside them. There are gonna be people who are offended by this. There are gonna be people who are afraid of the truth. But I have to give mad props to everybody who are calling out this nonsense, especially those with huge fan bases. Usually, when you have a large fan base, you don't want to take risks and try to play it safe, be neutral to everything. But there are people who don't want to do that, and they feel a little suppressed inside. They feel antagonized and immobilized when they're afraid of speaking out and be themselves. They want to speak out what they have in their mind, be themselves, and call nonsense as they are. I mean, have you seen the massive suffering that Grandma Omelette and her family suffered from thanks to mass censorship? Yes, I'm calling her Grandma Omelette, and I know it's a silly name, but that's the story. And the story is freaking amazing. It's in my Minds blog as usual alongside everything else. Thanks to our politically correct nature, thanks to people getting offended by the smallest of things, we have suppressed ourselves. We have suppressed ourselves on speaking out, expressing ourselves to be what we are and who we actually are as a person. And thanks to people being silenced over this, you got the highly immature blonde kid Narrow Trump as your president. And here's my advice to people who are still afraid of speaking out. Don't care. Just speak out. Be yourself. There are always going to be people who are offended by the tiniest of things that you do, the tiniest of mistakes. And trust me, I have experienced that quite often. And their emotional response is sometimes way too entertaining to laugh at. The overly offended nitpick warriors are there. I made one small mistake, they got triggered. And you know what? I don't care, because I make mistakes and I'm not perfect. One comment pointing out my mistake will not stop me on keep on making videos. Of course, there are gonna be videos with tons and tons of mistakes, but I always try to at least learn from my mistakes. And to all of those people who just went on freaking tantrums over just the smallest of things that I do, the smallest mistakes that I made, you're not gonna stop me on making more and more mistakes in the future, because I'm not perfect. I can piss you off even more by keep on making more and more videos, because them getting pissed off is way too entertaining. But seriously, I'm a human being. I have my biases, I have my dislikes, I have my preferences. I can be stupid. I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. These nitpick warriors expect me and other people to be God level perfect, as in perfect for them. Do you know why these people are never pleased? Because you're different to them. And they hate that. They want you to please them and them only. They want you to be about as 100% as what they think you should be in their mind. They want you to ignore the many people who are supporting you for being yourself. They want to change you into something that you're not. They want to control you by saying that they're offended. They're going to do this perpetually. They're going to keep on doing this until the end of time. I don't have a keyboard to type in IDDQD and make myself immortal. Sorry to disappoint these perpetually offended nitpickers that I have different opinions. I make mistakes and I am no freaking God. Do you want the truth? That's the truth. Do you hate the truth? Too bad, because that is the truth. Go seek your idols somewhere else, because I am not, and I will never going to be that ideal idol figure that you worship inside your head, because I'm not. And so are other people. So stop looking at them that way and start looking at them for what they are. Human beings with imperfection, emotion, bias, and different freaking opinions. So just a final message to all of these Ford kidnappers and morons. When I meet you guys in person, I'm just gonna ask one topic of question. Does it feel good? Does it satisfy your needs? I don't care about your political opinions. What you do speaks a lot more than what you think. I only care whether or not you actually feel something after doing all of that. I'm sure you do. And that's why you do it. You don't do it because you disagree with him. You do it because it feels good. You could have simply have a civil discussion for simply disagree with him or maybe agree to disagree, but nope, that's not satisfying. That's too hard. You don't like that one person disagree with you, so you assault him because it feels good. You don't like that one person is on a different race, so you assault him because it feels good. You find out that white people have enslaved millions and millions of people in the past, so you assault him because it feels good. It feels freaking satisfying, doesn't it? It feels like you're on the top of the world. The only problem is, the world is on the top of you, and you get to taste some sweet freaking justice. Good riddance. And to all the people who are not afraid of speaking out about this entire nonsense, despite the fact that we're living in this perpetually offended culture, huge freaking salutations. It shows to me that you guys have balls. You're not afraid of speaking out. You're showing what you are right now. A human being. A human being who is not afraid of speaking out their feelings and opinions. A human being who is not afraid of calling out nonsense. And human beings who make mistakes and are imperfect and got called for it. So thank you. Thank you for all of you guys for calling out this nonsense, for speaking out against this nonsense. You have fought the good fight, and I cannot be more proud of that. Head pats to all of you. You absolutely deserve it. That's all for the video today. If you like this, you can go ahead, click the like button, and subscribe for more. If you wish, You can support me on Patreon, and thanks for watching.